Okay, we should be live. Let's confirm. Hello, everybody. If you can hear us, we are live and we are, well, obviously we're live.
Are we live on YouTube as well?
We absolutely should be. So let's,
I can see us
yes,
on.
I can see us. I can see us on both, I think. So,
Okay, awesome.
how are we all,
Yep.
everybody? I'm just confirming that we are absolutely and in fact live, and it looks like we are on. Yes, we are. Welcome to the show. This is our daily Q&A for the UMS Movement Mastermind and YouTube channel. This is where we answer your questions. And if we haven't met before, my name is Rad Burmeister. I am one of the co-founders and co-creators of Unity Gym and the UMS Unified Movement System, along with my brother Yanni, who's on my right over there. And our customer support manager, Will, is down below us. We are
Howdy,
Unity
gang.
Gym, where we turn driven people into strong, flexible, and fit athletes. And if you want to know how we do that, of course, you can go over to our website, unitygym.com, and get 4 of our most popular programs for free. No strings attached. You get instant access. You can choose our 20-minute stretching routine and many others. So jump on over and grab them. And today we've got a couple of great questions. A couple of people in our UMS Movement Mastermind group on Facebook have asked a couple of crackers. And the first one, Yanni, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you able to bring the video up for the YouTube tribes? Because obviously they can't see the post.
Well, of course I am. So let's just, it just takes me a second, but let's have a look here. That looks like it right there. Can you guys see it? Can you guys see that? Yeah, for some reason I can't hear you guys now that I've done this, so. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to play the video. I don't know why, but I can't hear you as soon as I've gone to this video, Yanni.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yo, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So we couldn't, no one could hear us there, huh?
Yeah, I guess
I can
not.
hear Rad,
No.
not Yanni.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
Okay, so
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm learning this stuff. How about now? Can we all hear each other?
testing. I can hear you.
I can hear
Can
you.
you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
So can
you
everybody?
hear me? Test.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, great.
Can
All
everybody
right,
on
wonderful.
the live stream hear us now?
Yeah, I'm
so
sure they
sorry,
can.
guys. Yeah, I'm just playing. I'm learning how to do this software. All right, off you go.
Okay, so first of all, I wanted to give a shout out to Dean. I think this is the first time I've seen him post, so wicked. And I assume that he's grabbed one of our free trainings. It looks like the Flexibility Masterclass, which is where we do the Jefferson curl or the J curl.
The
Now,
flexibility masterclass. That's right.
there's a couple of things that are really important to cover quickly here before we start giving technique feedback, because there's a little bit that we can work on here. You know, Dean is talking about how he experiences a nerve pinching like pain in my spine after doing these. I'm extremely confident it's nerve pain and not DOMS, since it's sudden and feels similar to when I've herniated my disc before, and makes me desperately want to have my spine stretched on a torture rack for days following, only half joking. Now, there's a lot to unpack in that paragraph. First of all, the concept of a herniated disc, like Phil, our physio, always talks about the language we use being really, really, really important. A herniated disc is language that is used. I think old-fashioned language that's used, and it's not very accurate to what's actually occurring. Now, without being able to properly diagnose what is going on with Dean, and I'm definitely not a physiotherapist nor claim to be one, and I would strongly advise that you work with someone like Phil at ADPT Physio Online to get to the bottom of it properly. But what I can talk about is my personal history as well. I came from a spinal injury where I used to have a lot of what we call nerve adhesion or entrapment, where I felt like I didn't feel the stretch when I tried to do hamstring stretches or Jefferson curls or anything like that, pike stretching in my hamstrings at all. I always felt it in really weird spots, like in my feet, in my ankles, in my calves, behind the knees. And it was a real nerve burning pain that sort of, it's different to a feeling you get in the muscle body itself. And like Dean explains there, it comes on suddenly, it's quite sharp. And you just sort of know that it's not a muscle pain. Now, nerve pain usually it will be like a burning sensation, or it will create like a tingling or a numbness in an area that you're trying to stretch. And you don't want to mess around with nerve feedback like that. You don't want to try and push through it. Nerves are like string as opposed to an elastic band, which I would say the muscle is more like. The muscle is quite malleable. The nerve is given a little bit of room to move, and it can glide under and in between the muscle bodies, but it can become trapped. And they call it nerve entrapment. When you've got two muscle bodies really tight, pushing down, you get nerve entrapment or nerve adhesion, and then it gives you that real burning sort of feeling, or it's a very uncomfortable feeling. But it can often be confused with a muscle spasm. And a muscle spasm, I'm dealing with one right now. I did a really, really, what I would perceive to be gentle workout on Monday, Tuesday, and I just got a really big muscle spasm in my lower back. Now, I've come from a broken spine, like a really bad horse riding accident that gave me a compressed fracture in my spine. I know what having a really compromised spine feels like. I know what it feels like to have disc bulges and nerve. I used to get very bad nerve pain into my left leg and my testicles. Like it was pretty intense. I felt like I was getting kicked in the nuts all the time. And so trust me, I know what it's like for all of you out there watching who have really bad nerve pain in the lower back. But a lot of people often confuse it with a muscle spasm, and muscle spasms, make no mistake, they can feel awful. They can put you on your butt or your backside real quick, and they come on. They can come on very quickly, or they can come on slowly after the fact. My muscle spasm in this case came on very quickly. Believe it or not, it came on the first time doing a series of press to handstand drills just to test my flexibility, because I'm coming back from a hamstring tear, and it's something that would never usually cause a muscle spasm for me. So it's quite frustrating. But I just want to say this is why it's important to work with a physiotherapist, because they will be able to guide you through the process of diagnosing whether it is actually a nerve pain or pinching, and there's certain processes and procedures you can use to release an entrapped nerve, or whether it's just a muscle spasm, which is much more common. And remember, and one of our guys in the comments has pointed this out quite cleverly, Vinny Brown, because he listens to our podcast a lot. When you're working beyond what your body's comfortable with, a range of movement or a weight that your body's comfortable with, it will often trigger a spasm. And the spasm is there to slow you down and remind you that you might be pushing the boundaries of what your body is comfortable with, not with what your body could do, with what your body's used to, with what it's conditioned to. We talk a lot about this metaphorical bucket, which is your load capacity. and every time you move or do exercise, you're pouring water into that bucket, and the intensity or the volume of the exercise can either fill the bucket or overflow the bucket, and overflowing the bucket represents an injury or a spasm or something like that, And so with Dean here, for whatever reason, his history, he may have injured himself in the past, like me falling off a horse. He may sit in a chair for prolonged periods of time, which has affected his range of movement, or he's adapted to that seated position more than he's been able to give himself time to adapt to the J curl or exercise, lumbar flexion, and he's bordering on exceeding his bucket here already, even though he's not lifting any weight, and that's totally fine. That's part of the process of figuring out what your body can sort of withstand and handle. And what Vinny said here is really, really true. Work within the range that you've got, and then slowly, progressively overload that, and then slowly, progressively overload the load, the intensity with additional weight. The worst thing that Dean could do is do this with a really big load, because he's already experiencing his body trying to put the brakes on without any additional load, just by doing body weight. The second worst thing I think Dean could do is to just say, oh, well, this exercise isn't for me because I'm experiencing some level of discomfort. You know what I did yesterday after I experienced a really bad spasm in my lower back, like bad enough that I have been taking painkillers for the last couple of days and anti-inflammatories, which is arguably not the best thing to do. I went and deadlifted yesterday. I went and deadlifted the discomfort out, and then straight after that, I went for a walk and a run. I only ran 1.5 kilometers of a 6-kilometer distance, and then this morning I did about 600 stairs. The worst thing you can do when you experience a spasm, or even if it is nerve pain, nerve entrapment, is stop moving, because your body's screaming out saying, I can't do this because I'm unconditioned. So it's like saying, all right, well, I'm not going to condition it. It'd just be absolutely disastrous for Dean, because guess what? If you're not growing, if your body's not evolving, it's generally dying, So you've got two choices. You either persevere and do it right, layer that load on, manage the load correctly. We call it load management, and then you'll have the gift of the opportunity of progressively being able to overload that so that it gets stronger and stronger and stronger and more mobile. Or you choose to do what more than half the world's population do, and say, exercise just isn't for me because I'm experiencing discomfort from exercise. And you sit on your butt and do nothing, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And so, Dean, my answer to you, brother, is keep going with the J curls with no weight, and Rad can add to this, and work within the range. Make sure that the discomfort that you're experiencing isn't really bad the day after. It's okay to experience a little bit of mild discomfort, probably to a 4 out of 10 in the workout itself. But if you're experiencing a lot of discomfort the following day without doing any movement, then you've probably gone a bit too hard.
My feedback,
and I would say book in a session with Phil.
Yeah. But in all honesty, my feedback, I've coached so many people through what they would describe as debilitating back pain that really stopped them from training. And the people that get through it and come out on the other side with flying colors, I've never successfully coached someone through that where all I've done is given them exercises that are specific to that problem. The only people that have ever truly overcome it are people that have adopted the UMS, because this is why the UMS was created, because it looks at the body as a whole, and we can't isolate issues in the body. You may be feeling the pain in your back when you do the Jefferson curl, but the back is a part of the body as a whole. And the body as a whole needs to get strong, flexible, and fit. It's not that you know, of course, the pain that we're feeling is in the back, so we want to say, how do I fix this one problem? But when that problem gets fixed, if it even does, then another problem arises and you start feeling issues in other areas. So, you know, everything that Yanni said is correct, but I would strongly advise you to try the UMS for a month and see if that, because the people come to us so broken, and 3 weeks later they say, oh my God, I feel better than I have in years. I've never felt this good. And that's the foundation of the UMS. It's to create that balance in the body and make people feel better, and it works.
I was just going to add that, you know, the lower back is probably the area of the body that we have the best track record of rehabbing. Like if you think about Neil and Adrian and all these people, Lockie, who come to us and the next step was to go and get surgery to get spinal fusion or something like that, because their lower back pain has been so bad. And yeah, they've never looked back and are stronger than ever before and rave about how amazing they feel. You know, people who come in the door saying, I can't deadlift or I can't do this because it's screwed my back in the past. And so, yeah, if the last thing I'll leave with you guys, everyone, and Dean especially, is that it is the best thing about the lower back is that there's just so much musculature and so much opportunity and potential for growth and strength development down there that, you know, it is a very frustrating thing to deal with. And often the very thing that makes it feel bad is the thing you need to do most. For me, it was actually learn to deadlift and then deadlift a lot, which I was told that I should never do by most of the doctors and surgeons that I went and saw. And yeah, you know, you just got to, like Rad said, you've just got to attack it from everywhere. And that means nutrition intervention as well, you know, because if you've got a gut that's really upset, it often transpires into a lower back pain. I've got a great physiotherapist friend of mine who did his PhD research on the correlation between low back pain and gut health. So, yeah, you know, like,
get on board.
We got to go. We got
to go. So, Vinny, if you can post your question as a post in the feed of the UMS Movement Mastermind, because we never...
No, did we miss Vinny again?
Yeah, well, when you post as a comment on the show and then the show finishes, we very rarely check those comments again. Like for us, that show's kind of done and dusted. But if you put a post in the feed, that's what we see and that's what we answer in a day. So post that and we'll definitely do it tomorrow for you, Vinny. All right, thanks everyone. We'll get your questions in. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going into our 28-day Kickstart group now to give them specific coaching on their UMS training. Have a good one, everyone.